Hey, what's up everyone? This is going to be a guide on using cameos with Geras, and it's pretty long because Geras can use a lot of the cameos better than most characters can, in my opinion, because he has temporal advantage, which freezes your opponent, and it allows him to use slower summon attacks that most characters can't combo with, like for example Cyrax's Net or Striker's Handcuffs. So there's a lot of tech that he has that most other characters can't really use or do as good as he can. So without further ado, let's get this video started. First up is Darius. So Darius, he's pretty straightforward, but I think he's pretty effective. He can give Geras meterless damage off of temporal advantage. It is pretty costly on the cameo bar, but it's an option nonetheless. If it's for the kill, it's definitely worth it. He can also do hard to block situations with overhead flip kick. That overhead flip kick will only come out though on hit or on block. The part where he stomps the ground, that's the part that will only come out on block or on hit. So if you whiff that overhead flip kick, he'll just run off the screen and you won't be able to set up that stomp that he follows up with. And what's cool is Geras can use the 1-bar version of the overhead flip kick. Usually it's 2 bars because a lot of people started up with ballerina kick into the overhead flip kick. But since Geras can use temporal advantage combos to use the overhead flip kick by itself, it only costs 1 bar, and you can set up these hard to block situations more commonly than most characters can. And you can use the overhead flip kick for hard to block situations, continue block pressure, armor break on Oki. So he's got a lot of options with just the overhead flip kick, and that's pretty much Darius. He has the ballerina kick, which has the overhead flip kick, and then his other assist, the back assist, it's not really worth using, and I'll get more into detail on that when it shows up. But Darius also grants 50 extra health too, which is cool. So you get, I think, pretty good things out of Darius in the end. He might not be the best cameo, but he's definitely effective. So this is the back assist, the twirl, I guess we'll call it. This twirl, it's good on paper, but when people learn the Darius matchup, they're always going to be able to floss block it. You can't switch up the timing or make it safe in any way possible. It's always going to be punishable by floss block, and the timing's never different. So if people at a high level face this, they're always going to punish it. So it's not really worth doing, in my opinion, unfortunately. And it has all these armor gaps too. This is probably the most commonly used tech with Darius and Geras, is just making the command grab meterlessly launched for the full cameo bar. But that pretty much concludes Geras and Darius. He's a pretty good cameo with Geras, but I don't think he's the best. But he's not bad. He's definitely a good viable pick if you want to use him. Knife Toss is a good projectile to have, because Sand Pillar is really unsafe on block and on whiff. But it's also good to use on block because it creates spacing and it jails after those normals and strings on block without any gaps. It's also good on hit for meterless combos, and it has lower than normal damage scaling for whatever reason. These are the combo routes you usually do with Geras off of stand 1. This is for 1 bar of meter with temporal advantage. And this combo is a meterless combo, but costs 3 clocks to use the snap. So normally outside these two routes, you're not getting big damage off of stand 1. But with Serena's daggers, you can get big meterless damage off of stand 1. You can also combo off of 4-2, 4-2 meterlessly. If you're in a situation where you land daggers, but you're not in reach to use any normals or strings, you can use the snaps if you have it to combo off of daggers anywhere on the screen. Serena's spell is actually really good with Geras because of temporal advantage. He can keep you in place mid-screen and use spell, so you don't have to worry about them getting juggled out of the spell and not getting their meter drained. You can drain a lot of meter with Geras and Serena. It's actually pretty cool. I think it's pretty underused for anybody that uses this team, because usually they go for big damage, but if they're getting big damage with the daggers, they're always going to have meter to break. Serena's kick can be used for creating space and making your strings or normals less minus, and these are the strings and normals it jails off of. It's a pretty common theme that back 1, 4-2, 4-2-4 all jail with most summons that are fast. But this kick also can whiff on some characters. I only tested Melina, but it could be a female hitbox thing. This is a better use for Serena's kick in my opinion. You can use it to blow up gaps that your armored attack as Geras won't reach. Overall, I think Serena does really good with Geras. She helps him get meterless damage, an extra offensive option, an extra projectile, and some more health because she adds 50 health. So overall, she's pretty good. Cyrax allows you to launch for 2 bars off the forward throw. He also has this bomb setup move, but it's probably the weakest move in his kit. I'm just getting these 2 out of the way because the next moves are the more important ones. Cyrax's net pairs really well with Geras because Geras is one of the few characters that can combo into net. And if you combo into net, you can get 2 clock summons, and sometimes even a 1-2-2 ender, which gives you 3 clocks. But if you can't get the 1-2-2 ender, you're guaranteed to get at least 3 clocks if you're fast enough with your timing. You just have to take the knockdown after net, so you sacrifice some damage for some clocks. It just depends on what you value in the moment. The chopper assist is easily Cyrax's best move. It's good for creating block pressure or making things safe. And in most block strings you want to end in temporal advantage to better jail into Cyrax chopper assist, except after 4-2, 4-2. Because if you do this and they get hit, they can actually punish you. So 4-2, 4-2 is the only one you don't want to use temporal advantage. If your opponent decides to take like the last hit of 4-2, 4-2, you can convert off of it with the snap. Sometimes people take the hit to avoid block damage or something, so just something to keep in mind if you ever run across it. This combo is really hard, but you can combo off of temporal advantage meterlessly with upward chopper. And if you have 3 clocks for the snap, You don't have to worry about it dropping because you can just do the snap. Makes it much easier. You can jail time freeze and block pressure with chopper assist. So you could use this to set up your meterlessly launching command grab, or you can go for hard to block situations. Normally I would only do this in the corner though, because there's a lot of pushback mid-screen. Chopper assist is really good on Oki. It breaks armor and you can't up block it when standing up, so you pretty much have to block it. This is my brother's favorite thing to do in the world. You can use chopper assist to make the last hit of forward 1, 2, 1/3 plus unblock, because normally on flawless block it's punishable. You can also do setups to make the command grab launch with chopper assist. You can use chopper assist to OTG your opponent, either force them to block, but you can also combo it on hit if you're fast enough with the timing. It depends on what you want to go for. In this combo, I'm playing as player 2 Geras, or the Geras with the blue pants, and eventually I'll try to start mashing down 1 to try to interrupt the setup, but the setup can't be interrupted. Cyrax is probably Geras' best cameo, and I say probably because it's not by much if he is, because I think there's other good cameos with Geras. But Cyrax provides a lot of block pressure, good Oki, and he helps him store clocks much easier because of net combos. For the most part, Kano does what Cyrax does, but worse, and he just grants a projectile. But I'll come back when the more complex stuff shows. So for now, I'll just show some combos that you can do with this pair. You can use Kano Ball for Oki and extra block pressure. You can use Kano Ball as a threat to make your opponent not want to punish you if you do something unsafe. Here are some setups to use time freeze and some block pressure setups too. If your opponent doesn't react in time before the screen freezes, then when the screen unfreezes, both players will be in a neutral state. So let's just say you didn't use your clone for the sake of this example. If both players mashed down 1, Johnny Cage versus Geras, after the screen unfroze, Geras would lose that poke war because Johnny is a 6-framer. With Kano Ball assist, you can jail into time freeze, which makes it safe to set up, and you can also break armor with it, except maybe Havoc. You might have to do something else like flawless block. Overall, I wouldn't really use Kano with Geras because he lowers your health by 50, which Geras has 950 by default, so this team has 900 health. He provides some minor block pressure and an ambush projectile, but overall I don't think it's really worth using in the end. That Sonya ring projectile is the last time you're going to see it in this video. That's it, it's pretty useless. But here are all the combos that you can do off of leg grab. Some combos link on hit and some don't. One cool thing about Sonya's leg grab is it lets Geras combo meterlessly off 1-2. Sonya is very bare bones, short and simple, so she doesn't really provide much for Geras. They don't really synergize that well in my opinion. So she's on the lower end of cameos to use with Geras in my opinion. Forgot to mention she has a reversal, but it's on the slower side, so it's not as good as Kunlao's, and it doesn't launch. Sector's teleport allows you to combo off 1-2 meterlessly. Here's some combos that you can use teleport with, and some don't work, so just keep that in mind. If you're in a situation where you can use teleport to punish or maybe land it in neutral and you have the snap available, you can combo off of it as long as you don't anti-air them with the teleport, because if you anti-air them with the teleport, the gravity scaling is way different and they fall much faster. So if you know you can land teleport and you have snap available, it's a really good conversion that you can do anywhere on the screen. Sector's flamethrower allows you to restand the opponent and continue pressure. Here's some combos of how to use it. Sector's rocket can be used for a lot of things. It's so versatile, but mainly it's used for Oki. But later in the video, you'll see that it can be used to restand the opponent for block pressure or to extend combos. These next couple clips are going to be showing off the OTG that you can do with 1-2-2. This is the restand I was talking about that can continue block pressure or continue combos, and credits to Azteca for finding this. What's really good about this restand tech, or OTG, is you can bypass wake-ups with it to continue block pressure, or you can go for more damage in a combo. But you don't always have to rely on flamethrower either for restand, and you can go for these cool setups with the rocket OTG. Sector provides a lot for Geras. He provides a lot of setup things. He doesn't provide as much block pressure as some other cameos, but the setup potential is through the roof, and I think he's probably in the top 4 best cameos for Geras. Frost allows you to jail off of certain normals and strings with her summon assist. This is pretty good in the corner because it's not pushing back as far, so you could actually use your plus frames a bit more in the corner. And you can also jail into her chop assist, you could call it, after setting up a certain timing with the hourglass. If you happen to hit your opponent with the chop assist, you can sometimes combo off of it too, off the hourglass. One of the good things about Frost is, like other cameos, she allows you to combo meterlessly off of 1-2, and she can actually combo into a lot of the strings and normals with the low ice, so it's a lot better than like Sonya leg grab assist where it whiffs on certain things. Hers is just more consistent, and it's also a low, so sometimes you might get lucky and catch them with it. This is probably the best tool that Frost has with Geras. It's the Frost Orb. So you can launch your command grab by throwing them into the Frost Orb, and it doesn't scale as much as high throws do because it's a command grab. Credits to PND Omega K for finding this concept out. He does different setups than I do, I'm pretty sure, so when I'm doing on screen I'm not sure if this is exactly how he does it, but these are just some examples of ways you can set the Frost Bomb up into a command grab. Overall, I think Frost is pretty straightforward, but also effective. That's why this part of the cameo section with Frost is pretty short. You're mainly just wanting to use the low puddle for like a meterless launcher. Here and there you might do some iceberg block pressure, but the main thing is the Frost Orb setup into the command grab. That's like the main thing you want to do with this team. She also doesn't lower like your health like some characters do. She's the neutral, so Geras remains at 950 health, which is better than losing health. In my opinion, she's a top 5 cameo for Geras. You can jail Jax's Purple Punch after certain normals and strings. Jax, he doesn't synergize the best with Geras. He's still pretty good with Geras, but he's kind of similar to Frost, where he's like straightforward and simple but effective. But yeah, there's some cool stuff with this team, and he does provide the most health in the game of all the cameos. So with him adding 100 health, he puts Geras at 1050 health, which is nice. You can do launching command grab setups mid-screen with him. They're pretty hard, but if you can master them, they're definitely a threat. These launching command grab setups are much easier to do in the corner. So with ground pound, at the highest level, there's an in-game mechanic to where if you block low the ground pound and get hit, in this clip, I'm using an overhead jump kick built into before the ground pound. So to beat the safeguard, you have to do an overhead attack before the ground pound hits. This is an example of the safeguard in effect. So I'm playing as Red Pants Geras, and the AI is just doing the same exact sequence over and over, so nothing's changing. I'm only getting launched if I'm stand blocking, but if I'm crouch blocking, I'm not getting launched. Overall, I think Jax is a mid-tier cameo for Geras. They're pretty hard to use together, like getting those launching grab setups, especially mid-screen, and the ground pound setups are okay, but Jax does give you a 100 extra health, which is nice, putting this team at 1050. Striker's handcuffs are good because they restand your opponent, which bypasses wake-ups, and it allows you to jail in the time freeze. Here are some examples of how to use the handcuffs. I'm playing as Johnny on the right, and as you can see in my inputs, I'm mashing down 1, and it's not fast enough to interrupt the setup. These are the strings and normals you can jail overhead and low baton with, and it's really nice because overhead baton is +6 on block, and low baton is +1 on block. With meter burn sand pillar, you can do setups that allow you to launch off of overhead and low baton. Striker's grenades are pretty versatile. You can use them for zoning, extending block pressure, extending combos, which there's better characters to use grenades to extend combos with, like Raiden. Grenades can be used to make things harder to punish, armor break, and they're good to use in neutral. Against someone like Johnny, who has forward advancing armor, you may have to change up the knockdown you use to do an armor break setup. In this clip, I set the AI to reversal armored attack after the tackle, so the grenades jail afterwards. So you can use this setup to make yourself safe against armor and people trying to floss block punish it. You're only going to be safe from armor after the tackle. This setup is only +2 on block because the second grenade whiffs, so only the first grenade is landing. And I haven't tested this setup on every character, but Johnny and maybe others can crouch block under it, on floss block, and punish it. You can launch with command grab by using meter burn, sand pillar, and grenades. Overall, I think this team is really good. The only downside is this team has 900 health because Geras starts at 950 and Striker takes away 50, leaving you at 900. So it feels like some rounds you get opened up twice and are dead. Despite that, I think Striker's a top 6 cameo for Geras. So Scorpion, he's pretty bare bones with Geras. The spear pullback I guess you can use to try to run away and try to store some clocks. Then if you get hit, try to reverse time or spear pullback depending on the scenario. But Geras is mainly a rushdown character, so his playstyle wouldn't be too effective. The rest of the clips from here are just combos, so I'll just go over my thoughts on Scorpion now. He doesn't really synergize too well with Geras like he does other characters like Reptile, Lee May, or Smoke. Scorpion can allow you to combo off stand 1 meterless, which is cool, but overall I think Scorpion is a bottom 2 cameo for Geras. You can jail Sub-Zero's cold shoulder off of forward 2. Sub-Zero's ice armor is immune to sand pillar and snap, so it makes the Geras mirror a fun time. Sand Pillar is too slow to reversal punish downward sword from Kenshi, but if you have ice armor, you become immune to the downward sword, and you can whiff punish it with Snap. Another fun fact about the Geras mirror is ice armor is immune to reverse time. Sub-Zero's freeze allows you to combo off stand 1 meterlessly, and I'd say the freeze is the best cameo summon launcher because it's very consistent and keeps the opponent frozen for a long time, which allows you to set up clocks and continue your combo. The rest of these clips are going to be combos. Overall, Sub-Zero is really straightforward and effective with Geras, while also being a good counterpick cameo, which I think we could see more when the game evolves. He also gives Geras 50 health, putting the team at 1000 health, which is really cool, no pun intended. One of the things that Kung Lao's teleport can do is you can get Oki off of things you normally can't get Oki off of. This scenario is pretty cool because usually you're throwing them out the corner, but since you get teleport, you can try to put them back in the corner. As far as combos go with the teleport, you can get a meterlessly launching temporal advantage with teleport. So usually, in my opinion, it's only worth going for teleport combos if you want to set up hourglasses, because in the end you get the same amount of damage meterlessly if you were to do the forward assist, which is the spin. So normally if I do teleport combos, I'm just fishing for the hourglasses. Otherwise, I'm just going to use the Kung Lao spin for meterless damage. This is a side-by-side comparison of damage for both of these combos. So this combo, using teleport cameo, is going to do the same amount of damage as the next combo that uses the forward spin assist. So if you want meterless damage and only damage, it's the same outcome. So I guess if you wanted to stall a little bit, it would be better to go for the teleport combo because it seems like it stalls a little more. But yeah, the damage is the same in the end if you want a meterless route and don't care about the hourglasses. You can launch off of Geras' command grab with meter burn stand pillar and teleport cameo. It's a little hard to combo off of because sometimes they get launched in the corner, sometimes they launch out the corner, so the converting off of it part can be a little tricky sometimes. After messing around and practicing these combos a bit more, you kind of know when they're going to fly in or out of the corner, and if you have all the things set up, you can do stuff like this for bigger damage. This setup also works against delay wake up. It's just when you go for command grab, instead of teleporting mid command grab animation, you want to teleport like spin right to launch off stand 1 meterlessly, and here are the rest of the combo routes you can use spin with. One of the best things about spin is you can use it to exploit gaps to reversal launch your opponent. These are the strings and normals you can jail low hat off of on block. You could use low hat as like a threat to keep yourself safe and make your opponent think about trying to punish you. And you can also use it in mid juggles to combo off of, so it's really good for meterless damage. One, two, two is the best ender for setting up the low hat hard to block setup, and here's a few combos that use these hard to block setups. Overall, I think Kameos is one of the best cameos for Geras. He's in my top 4, but I think he has potential to be even better in top 4. You get meterless damage with Kameos spin, you get the hourglass combos with the teleport, you get the hard to block situations with low hat, and you get meterless damage off that too. You also get block pressure off low hat, and you can also use his spin as the best reversal launcher in the game. So all of those combined, plus not lowering or adding any health, and just keeping him at 950 is also good. So all those combined, I think he's a top 4 cameo right now with Geras. Potentially could be better. Also, I forgot to mention, teleport allows you to get Oki off your command grab, which is huge too. You can jail tail shot after forward 2 unblock, which is plus 3 unblock. This clip is going to be using Motaro's Reflex, so I'm just setting the AI to throw ninja stars with Reiko, and this is one of the good uses you can use with Reflex. You can actually combo off of it with snaps. So right here, this clip is going to show a fatal blow combo, it's going to drop, but in the next clip, I'm going to do the same exact combo, but the fatal blow animation is going to start up with Motaro instead of Geras. Geras, he tries to grab you by your face, and then he'll like pop your neck if he grabs you, but Motaro is the only assist that has a different fatal blow startup animation. You have to tap the cameo button to do this fist he does, and it's like 16 frame startup, I think. So you get consistent fatal blow conversions with his assist pretty much. In this clip and the next clip, I'm gonna do the same exact combo, but instead the first combo is gonna have the Geras fatal blow, and then the next combo is gonna have the Motaro fatal blow. And they both do the same damage. That's pretty much what I'm showing off. So you're always going to want to use the Motaro fatal blow startup because it's just faster. So you don't get more or less damage. It's just all it is Motaro starts up faster. That's literally the only difference. So this triple tail shot move, it's really just, this is just a swaggy combo with it. And then the next clip is going to be a command grab setup with it, but it's pretty rare you use this move with Geras, I feel like, because a lot of the time Motaro can just get stuffed in the middle of the animation. In my opinion, it's not really worth the full cameo bar usage, but these are the things you could do with it that I thought were worth noting. This is the best part about Motaro with Geras, in my opinion, is his teleport. Just like Kung Lao, you can get Oki off of command grab with his teleport, and you can also do teleport combos, which I'll eventually show when the clip comes up. Just like Kung Lao, you can launch with the command grab using teleport and meter burn sand pillar, and it's also easier with Motaro because his teleport's quicker. Overall, Motaro with Geras, in my opinion, isn't too great. They're a bottom 4 team. Motaro's tail shots or whatever, in my opinion. And the reflex is useful, but zoning isn't too prevalent outside of like Draco, so it's not really too useful at the moment. The best thing you get from Motaro with Geras is the teleport. And it's a really fun team, don't get me wrong, but Motaro also lowers your health by 50, which puts Geras and Motaro at 900 health, so overall I think competitively it's not really worth using this team. Goro's punch walk is by far his weakest move. It's not very rewarding, and if you try to use it in a block string, it's always going to have a gap because of how slow it is. With Goro's stomp, you can do some cheesy unblockable setups, and here's some examples of ways to use it. This is where the stomp gets interesting. So it's very costly because it's a full cameo bar, but if you were to master this, it would be extremely helpful. But like I said, it's hard to do, and delay wake up kind of gives it problems, so I wouldn't rely on it too much, but it's there if you feel like you can land it. Goro's toss allows you to combo off stand 1 meterlessly, and it's reactable, but if you have somebody ducking your command grabs, like after forward 1 or forward 1-2, you could try throwing it in there to catch them ducking, but like I said, it's reactable. So at a high level, it's probably not the most viable strategy, but it's something else I gotta worry about. Goro's toss is pretty flexible to use. You can pretty much combo into anything with it. The only thing you gotta be worried about is it can be weird to convert off of sometimes, because he can grab the opponent from far away, which is easier to combo off of, but if he grabs the opponent and throws them as you're right next to him, it's harder because he'll throw them farther away from you. You can use up punch to make things safe or plus unblock, so you can use it for pressure, make your unsafe things safe, and there's other setups that will be shown later in these clips. You can also use it as a restand and just combo extension. It's a really flexible move and probably the best move that he has to offer with Geras. If you call in Goro after the wall, but before the tackle, you take away the gap that that string normally has. Just like with other cameos, you can jail into time freeze after strings with Goro. You can use Up Punch and Meter Burn Sand Pillar to combo off the command grab. Here's how to do the Up Punch restand, and here's some setups you can do with it. One last thing about Up Punch is it can add a lot of damage to your combos. It's a bit hard to do, but once you get the timing down, it's not so bad. It's a lot of button pressing, but it's definitely worth using if you're like in a situation where something can kill, where without Up Punch it won't kill. This is where Up Punch damage gets really fun. So the hard part about this combo is you have to like time your attacks in sync with the clone to get the maximum damage, but it's only like a 4 or 5 extra %, so I really wouldn't stress it too much. But the combo itself is pretty easy to do once you learn the timing. It took me like maybe 10-15 minutes to get the timing down and get used to doing the combo. So overall, I think Goro's like a mid-tier cameo pick for Geras, but I think he's a viable pick. And, you know, he provides the restand setup, the overhead toss is a nice meterless launcher, the plus some block pressure you get with Up Punch, you get a launching command grab setup with his ambush Up Punch, and you also can get big damage with him. The only downside is he lowers your health by 50, so it puts Geras and Goro at 900 health. But he's definitely a really fun pick, and I definitely want to start using him more. Even though I think he's a mid-tier team, but it's mainly because of the health that he puts you at. This is the higher damaging Fatal Blow combo. The last combo did 704, 78 damage, whereas this one's 754, 27.